Driving me crazy with like I ain't want you and nobody else. Starting to follow me by your side. You just talking to me, you got the I got the trigger, just bring yourself out of dash. Probably get much, just go grab some last conversation. Yeah, I ain't really say too much. Say them other niggas. Guys, it's your girl, Emotionally Unboxed Ray, and I'm coming to you yet again with another video on this beautiful Sunday morning. If y'all like me, y'all are excited because this weather's starting to break. And I'm so ready for spring, y'all. Like, literally, I'm so ready for spring. Y'all don't even understand. Like, I need it to come. It's not coming fast enough. But anyway, guys, I'm coming to you yet again for another video. Just to talk about something really, really quick. And kind of talk about my week in general. So, my week has been really hectic, really crazy. It was one of those weeks where I could really feel the singleness, okay? And the loneliness, okay? But all in all, I think being separated and being single is one of the hardest adjustments I've ever had to make, because I generally do not like doing things by myself. I prefer for someone to be there with me, because I'm not an outgoing person. I'm pretty shy. So I think that's one of the toughest things that I've ever had to. This is one of the most pressing times of my life, but I'm just trying to push through and try to adjust. Earlier this week, I was going to do a video about, do I regret being married and getting married so young? So I think now I'm ready to talk about it. So honestly, I don't regret getting married. I think that marriage is a beautiful thing. I think that, and I don't regret getting married young. I feel like marriage is definitely work. And I feel like marriage works when two people want it to. And so for me, it didn't happen like that. But I don't regret getting married. I feel like if I hadn't gone through what I gone through, I wouldn't be here today vlogging and making these videos. I needed a push. I needed a challenge. And I'm just one of those people. I'm a firm believer. I'm just flat out honest with it. Like, it took me, I didn't want to be pushed like this. I didn't really have a choice. I needed to be pushed like this in order to step out of my comfort zone. And if you're like me, if you're someone who you're confined in your little bubble and you never go outside of it and you never let nobody in, I didn't realize how unhealthy that was, because until I was separated and by myself, because at this point, I don't, you know what I'm saying? Like, I have to force me to get out. I have to force me to be social. I have to do all of these things. And I didn't realize that, because I was the type of person, like, you take me as I am or go out the door. I don't care. And that's just not that's not how life really works. And I spoke in a video a while back saying that fear is one of the biggest things that will keep you in bondage for a really long time, and that's still a very true fact. And for me, I had a choice to make. I had a choice to start living, or I had a choice to just stay confined in my little bubble. And so for me, I think what happened to me is I literally watching my dad go through having stage 4 cancer, and watching him fight for his life, and watching him pass away, and all of those things kind of were eye openers for me, because life is short. And I know that there are a lot of people out there who are too afraid to step out of their comfort zone, because you don't know what's behind that door. And honestly, you will probably never know what's behind door number 1 or door number 2. You just have to get out and you have to do it. And for me, I wasn't that type of person. I wasn't a get out and do it kind of person. I'm just like, listen, this is my bubble, and this is where I'm staying, because this is where I feel safe at. Nobody can hurt me in my bubble. Nobody can make me feel bad about myself. Nobody can hurt, nobody can make rules in my place of comfort. And so a lot of times, and because of that, I missed out on a lot of things. I'm 24 now, and although I'm still young, I still missed out on a lot because I was too afraid to get out and do things and challenge myself. And sometimes when God puts people in our lives to challenge us, I will never discredit my marriage. I will never discredit him. He was a very outgoing person, and because he was so outgoing, he really challenged me to really step out of my comfort zone. Whether the reason because he did something wrong that challenged me, or he did something good that challenged me, whatever the case may have been, he still challenged me to get out of my comfort zone and go live life. And so I appreciate that. You know what I'm saying? So I don't regret being married. There were good things that came out of my marriage. It didn't go the way that I wanted it to. I don't think nobody walks down the aisles like, I hope we end up in divorce court, 5 years from now. I don't think nobody thinks like that. It has not made me feel like I don't want to be married again, or if he came back and wanted to fix it, don't quote me. Don't quote me, y'all. I may even consider, getting back in a relationship. And y'all, I know y'all see my stretch marks. I don't care. You may quote me. Don't quote me on that. But it has not made me give up on love. And I hate to see women who become bitter because a couple dudes hurt their feelings. Honestly, I feel like if I wasn't hurt, or if I didn't go through the things that I went through, I wouldn't know the correct way of how to love myself, and also the correct way of how someone should love me. See, a lot of times people get in relationships and you don't even truly understand. You don't have a full understanding of how you should be loved and what you deserve. So that's why a lot of times you get into relationships, but that's not bad. I feel like that is just life in general. That's how you learn. And so although I got married young, I don't regret that. I feel like I'm 24, and I feel like I've grown a lot within these last couple years, and that is one of the good things I feel like about getting married young. You grow with that person, literally. Y'all start off as babies, technically, and then y'all grow, and whoop, there it is. You know what I'm saying? So I don't regret getting married. I don't regret any of the things. No, none of us are perfect. And I had to realize that, a lot of times it's easy to put the blame on somebody else and say, well, you're the reason why this happened. Or trust me, I've had my moments where I've done that. But at the end of the day, you can either look at a situation. I try to look at situations from different angles. I try to see the good. Because really, if I just focused on that, you did everything and all of this, I would just go around hating everybody. And I don't want to be that way. You know what I'm saying? And it doesn't mean that he's just a bad person, because has a big heart. He's giving. People who know him love him. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, at some point, you have to take responsibility of certain things too. And so I'm grateful that I met someone who was daring and who was like just going with the wind, whatever, because it really has taught me about just taking risks and talk because that's what life is about. Because literally in this day and time, I mean, death, everybody has to die, but it seems like it's happening more frequently than usual. People getting cancer, people getting shot, people getting killed. You know what I'm saying? So I take all of that in consideration, and I try to live every moment to the fullest, because tomorrow is not promised to any of us. None of us are excluded from death. And so my message in this video is, if you are like me and you're stuck in your comfort zone, you got to step out and don't worry about what's behind that door. Because at the end of the day, we can't control what's behind door number 1 or what's behind door number 2. But what we can do is live in the moment and be happy, because life is short. Life is short, and that's just the reality of it. And that's unfortunate, but honestly, life is short. So, I hope I answered all the questions, because that's one of the questions I get asked all the time. Do I regret getting married? Nope. I would do it all over again if I had the opportunity. Do I regret being young, getting married young? Nope, I don't. I would do it all. I'm telling y'all. I met everybody. There's a season. There's a season for everything, and so that season ended. And so, it is what it is. But God is good. Because guess what? I'm still here. I tell people all the time. I had a young lady ask me, she said, how do you, like, what steps, like, what was the first thing you did? What was your first step to happiness? Or, and I just told her, I just stepped out and just did something. I just did it. It didn't matter what it was. I just did it. I did it for me. That's what I'm trying to say, y'all. Lord Jesus. I did it for me. I didn't do it for nobody else but me. That's where I was messing up at. You know what I'm saying? Living and breathing for somebody else and not living and breathing for myself. And a lot of times, like I always say, as women, we have a tendency of doing that. We get into these relationships and we don't, the line is so thin. It's like being playing the role of a wife or a girlfriend, and then playing the role of trying to train and raise a man. And that's not what we they had mamas before us. That's what their mamas was for. They supposed to train and raise them. So sometimes we can get consumed in our relationships and get consumed in that man to the point where we forget about us. We deserve our own individual happiness just like that man does. And hopefully you have a man who wants to push for your happiness as much as you gonna push for him. And a lot of times, unfortunately, it's one-sided. Somebody's working harder than the other person. Well, honestly, if two people are working hard enough and y'all try, it's not like a competition, but it's like making love deposits into each other's love banks. Like, okay, he bought me flowers. All right, I'm gonna go buy him some shoes or a new game. Or, if y'all just working on trying to make each other happy, then your relationship should be good. You know what I'm saying? Like, you shouldn't have no problems. But I have no regrets. I feel like everything that took place in my life was supposed to take place in my life, and I'm grateful that it did. And I'm grateful that God knew better than I did, because it was a whole bunch of times I would have made some decisions and it would have been fleshly, not spiritually, and I would have been in a bigger hole than I already was gonna get in anyway. So that's my little vlog for Sunday. Y'all want to know more about this look? Y'all know what to do. Y'all know where to go. Emotionally Unboxed, because anything less than that is unreal. And your truth is your strength. Baby, when I tell you I do this, because I had people come to me telling me stories about me and my business, baby. So let me just put my own business out there before you tell it. Okay? So my truth is my strength. My truth is all I have at the end of the day. And people are going to talk about you and say what they want to say about you regardless. But baby, straight from my mouth, honey, you can say what you want to say about me, but I'm going to tell my own business. I don't need you to. So anyway, y'all, I'm sorry I got sidetracked. Sidetracked for a second. But anyway, y'all, be blessed. This is Sunday's vlog. Subscribe, like. So I love y'all. Thank y'all for the support. Thank you for watching this video. Even if you don't know who I am, I'm Ray. If you're new to the page, welcome. And so, yeah. Happy Sunday.